In the small town of Milfield, there was a legend about a demon that would come in the dead of night and steal people's souls. Many believed it to be just a myth, but there were those who claimed to have seen the demon with their own eyes. One night, a young woman named Sarah was walking home from a late-night shift at the diner when she heard strange noises coming from the alleyway she had to pass through. She tried to ignore it and quickened her pace, but the noises only grew louder. Suddenly, she felt a cold hand grab her shoulder from behind. She spun around and found herself face to face with a dark figure with red glowing eyes. Sarah tried to run, but the demon was too fast. It dragged her into the alleyway and pinned her against the wall. The demon spoke to her in a voice that chilled her to the bone. "I have come to claim your soul," it said. Sarah screamed and struggled, but the demon was too powerful. It reached inside her chest and pulled out her soul, leaving her body lifeless on the ground. The townspeople were terrified when they found Sarah's body the next morning, and rumors spread that the demon had returned. They tried to protect themselves with crosses and holy water, but nothing seemed to work. The demon continued to steal souls, leaving a trail of death and destruction in its wake. As the weeks passed, the town grew more and more desolate. People were too scared to leave their homes at night, and many fled to other towns for safety. The few who remained prayed for a way to defeat the demon. One day, a stranger arrived in town. He was tall and muscular, with piercing blue eyes and a stern expression. His name was David, and he claimed to be a demon hunter. He said he had come to vanquish the demon that was terrorizing the town. The townspeople were skeptical at first, but David proved his worth when he took down a group of vampires that had been plaguing the town. He promised to rid the town of the demon, but warned that it would not be an easy task. David spent many nights patrolling the town, searching for any signs of the demon. Finally, one night, he saw the red glow of the demon's eyes in the distance. He followed the glow to an abandoned house on the outskirts of town. David kicked down the door and stepped inside. The house was dark and eerie, with cobwebs covering the furniture and dust coating the floors. David heard a faint whispering coming from upstairs, and he followed the sound. Upstairs, he found the demon in a room filled with skulls and candles. The demon was holding a small glass orb that seemed to be glowing with a sinister energy. David knew that the orb was the source of the demon's power. David drew his sword and charged at the demon. The demon fought back with all its might, but David was too skilled. With a final blow, he severed the demon's head from its body. As the demon's body disintegrated into dust, David picked up the glass orb. He could feel its power pulsing in his hand. He knew that he had to destroy it to prevent another demon from using it to steal souls. David took the orb to the town square and smashed it with his sword. As the glass shattered, a burst of energy exploded from it, sending shockwaves through the town. When the dust cleared, the town was calm again. The demon was gone, and the townspeople could finally rest easy. David left the town the next day, knowing that he had saved many lives. But he also knew that there would always be more demons out there, waiting to steal souls. He vowed to continue his work as a demon hunter, traveling to different towns and cities to protect people from the supernatural threats that lurked in the shadows. Years passed, and David became a legend in the world of demon hunters. His name was known far and wide, and many people sought his help when they were faced with demonic threats. One day, David received a letter from a woman named Emily, who lived in a small village in the mountains. She wrote that her village was being terrorized by a demon that had been stealing the souls of young children. She begged for David's help, saying that no one else could save them. David set out for the village immediately, determined to put an end to the demon's reign of terror. When he arrived, he found a village in chaos. Parents were frantically searching for their missing children, and the village elders were in a state of panic. David knew that he had to act fast. He spent the next few days investigating the demon's movements and gathering information from the villagers. Finally, he found a lead that led him to an old abandoned mine on the outskirts of the village. David made his way through the dark, winding tunnels of the mine, his sword at the ready. He could sense the demon's presence growing stronger with every step he took. As he turned a corner, he saw the demon standing in front of him. It was tall and menacing, with razor-sharp claws and red glowing eyes. The demon laughed as it spoke. "I have been expecting you, demon hunter. You think you can defeat me? You are nothing compared to the power of the underworld." David did not falter. He charged at the demon with all his might, his sword slashing through the air. The demon fought back with equal ferocity, but David was determined to win. The battle raged on for hours, with neither side gaining the upper hand. But finally, David saw his chance. With a swift motion, he plunged his sword into the demon's heart, causing it to let out a blood-curdling scream. As the demon's body disintegrated into dust, David breathed a sigh of relief. He had saved the village from certain doom, and the souls of the children were safe. David left the village the next day, knowing that his work was never done. He knew that there would always be demons out there, waiting to steal souls and wreak havoc on innocent people. But he also knew that he had the power to stop them, and he would do whatever it takes to protect those who were in danger. And so, David continued his journey as a demon hunter, traveling to far-off lands and fighting the forces of darkness wherever they may be. His legend grew with each passing day, and he became known as the greatest demon hunter in the world. But he remained humble and dedicated to his mission, knowing that the fight against evil would never truly be won.